The only thing I'm sure about is when I call Bill, the answer will be yes. And I have been so grateful for more than a decade for your incredible leadership. You're very humble and always the person who says, I do the least in the room, but that's actually not the case. You do so much for all of us, and we are truly, truly grateful. So here to present Bill with he didn't like the title of the award. He thought it should have been like less than Champion of Justice, but it is the Champion of Justice Award, and you are very deserving. So come on up, Becca and Christian Eduardo, to present Bill with his award.
Bill wants us to keep this very short and sweet, and so we are going to do that. And we all learned today that Bill is very funny, so we're expecting comedy when you get up here. Bill's commitment to this cause is really like nothing you've ever seen from a corporate law firm partner. He really goes above and beyond. He hosts our conferences, our speaking events, our roundtables, sometimes with no notice. Anything you need in New York City, he hosts the New York State Anti-Trafficking Coalition and chairs it. He's moderated every panel you can think of for those of us advocating in New York. He's received so many awards already from the Coalition Against Trafficking in Women, Sanctuary for Families. We really think of you, Bill, as someone we couldn't do this job without, even though you're going to say that's not true, but we really do feel that way. He also is a champion of the equality/survivor model. He has been advocating for it for so many years, long before the New York City Police Department and prosecutors were on board. Bill was in their ears telling them and everyone else in New York City why we should be survivor-centered, why people who are survivors and victims of the commercial sex industry should never be arrested for their own exploitation, and why perpetrators should be the ones we hold responsible. He really is a champion of this cause, and we are so, so grateful that you get it, that you're one of the few men in the room who often get it, and we just are so grateful for you.
When we talk about allies, I think that there's no one better than Bill. Becca said, I think that we can collaborate with males, we can collaborate with men, and Bill is just the perfect example of that. And I just want to say that pro bono legal services saved my life. So a lot of survivors here, we are out of jail, we have an immigration status because of these pro bono services. And that means a lot for us. That means justice for us. And Bill, you have not only created these services for survivors and victims, but you believe in us. And that's why you deserve this award, because you are a champion of justice. Thank you for believing in survivors. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for standing alongside us.
All right, first up.
You have to be in the middle.
I know.
Well, thank you very much. I told my wife
I was like, oh yeah, I'm
that was when I quoted Alexis de Tocqueville in my remarks. A 19th century French aristocrat who toured the United States, providing insight in American democracy, and she said, you know what? Just say thank you. Move off the stage. Don't quote Alexis de Tocqueville. And you know she's right 100% of the time over the last 30 years. So I'm gonna take her advice before, and she said, don't make any big remarks. So she's right, and I'm gonna take her advice, but before I take her advice, I'm gonna give you some big comments. Followed by the best Alexis de Tocqueville quote in history. Okay, so we're gonna start 20 years ago, when I was a prosecutor. I don't remember uttering the words human trafficking. I seriously do not ever remember uttering those words. And I think it's a reflection of where we were 20 years ago, because it was a great office that I worked in. And we've certainly come a long way. The number of federal human trafficking prosecutions between 2011 and 2020 increased by 84%, right? So we definitely made progress. But at the same time we've made progress, it's no question that the amount of human trafficking during that same time period has increased dramatically.
Right.
So hard to quantify. We don't know exactly how much it's increased, but there's a general consensus that it's increased dramatically. So what's the answer? Is the answer more prosecutions? I mean, that would be helpful, but I don't, it's bad to be on a panel right before you speak. That was pretty much all I had to say. You're getting through it again. So, no, I don't think more prosecutions are the answer. It might be helpful, but it's not the answer. Changing the law? I mean, the law is already pretty decent. We can make the law better, but changing the law so that we have something on paper also isn't going to make a difference. I think it would be helpful to provide more services for people and not to attach those services to the criminal justice system.
Right.
Never to put someone in the back of a police car.
Right.
Not to have that person ever appear before a judge or have to be in handcuffs, right? So that would be helpful. That would be vitally important. But even that, although helping individuals, is not going to address the big problem. So what do we need to do? It really comes back to raising awareness and changing attitudes. How do you do that? I think if people understood the violence that's inherent, not only in trafficking, but in the in prostitution itself, if people understood the violence, maybe you could change some minds. If people understood the age in which people enter prostitution, right? Maybe that could change some minds, because no one wants a child to be abused. Maybe if people understood the vulnerable populations, right, which generally are the ones who are prostituted in this country or around the world, maybe that could change minds. And then if people understood that this is driven by demand, and it's a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise, maybe that could change minds as well. So what is going to change? I'm getting to be Alexis de Tocqueville. So what is going to change minds? It's not the government. It's all of you.
Yep.
Nonprofit organizations partnered with the private sector, companies with firms, law firms. That's how we're going to change attitudes, and we're going to make a difference. Now that Alexis de Tocqueville. So he toured the country, right, in 1840 or whatever it was, not earlier than that. And he, earlier, you're right. I'm just making this up as I go. So, the key point, I think, is, among other things, he recognized the value of what the equivalent of nonprofit organizations, what he called associations. So he said, this is it. My wife will kill me, she's not here, this is fortunate. It's not fortunate, I wish she were here, but. In democratic countries, the knowledge of how to form associations is the mother of all knowledge, since the success of all the others depends on it. He understood the value of associations and organizations to get things done, to preserve democracy. And that's exactly what is going on in this conference and what's going on in all of the organizations that you run. This is not an act of charity. You play an essential role in securing access to justice, and I'm very proud to play a very small part of that. So thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
We did it. We did it. Huge congratulations to our three incredibly deserving recipients. And we hope you have a great night, and we will see you bright and early in the morning.
Yeah. Oh my god. It was I know, me too. I thought we were.
No, seriously, I am.
Exhausted.
Congratulations. Thank you. You deserve it.